Hey, this is a really quick look at the my progress on my Cosmic app. So yeah, this is kind of cool. It's now actually showing planets in the correct locations based on where I'm positioned on Earth. So you can see here that this here is the horizon line. Whoops, this here is the horizon line, and this is set to the time of my birth and the location. And you can see that basically you've got Pluto. So basically, this is the east, and the planetary bodies move around in an arc and set in the west. So you can see that basically Pluto's in the lead, and then Mars and Saturn they've all risen, and you've got Uranus kind of just below the horizon line, and that's in what's called the first house. That's this number here, one, shows you that's the first house. And then you've got these other kind of planets behind with ended in the moon. And then I've got a chart here that's been generated on astro.com, and that kind of shows you the exact same thing, obviously with a lot more information. But this is just, a couple of days work on mine. But you can see there that you've got the same three planets just above the horizon line, starting with Pluto. And then you've got all the planets kind of coming around here. You've got the sun and then the moon kind of ending at the bottom there. And that's pretty much the same thing that you're seeing here. So you've got the sun there, and then you've got the moon at the bottom. So yeah, that's really cool that you can actually, it's getting it, super accurate. And that's awesome. So yeah, and what the other cool thing is that it's basically using my location on an Earth, and you can actually toggle that off, and you can just actually see those are now the positions of the planets if you were basically to kind of draw Earth in the center here. And as you move, so every time I tap this button, I'm moving on a day. You can see that the moon is basically kind of orbiting around the Earth, and it takes about 27 days to kind of for it to fully orbit. So tap 27 times, and it goes kind of back to its position that it was kind of in before. The other cool thing is now that if you toggle on like actually where you're on in Earth, the location, then as you tap a day, you can see it actually, and this is why we kind of like everything kind of passes over once a day, because basically the Earth is spinning. So although the planets aren't actually moving around us once a day, like that's because of the Earth spinning, we're kind of getting a day and night cycle, and everything's going around once every day, which is pretty cool to kind of see. Other cool things that you can kind of see is, it's probably easier in this mode, is that some planets basically go retrograde, and you can see it there actually. So just see so I'm going back through time here. So if you just kind of keep your eye on Mercury there, you'd expect the planets to kind of all be kind of going around in the same direction. But as I kind of move on, you can see the Mercury actually comes to a stop now and starts basically going backwards. That's basically retrograde. It's an optical illusion, basically due to kind of orbit patterns when basically the planets appear to kind of go backwards for a period. You can probably see it more clearly if I actually zoom on a year. I don't know. You'd have to kind of like see it happening and kind of then watch one specifically. But the other things you can do with it now, is that you can zoom to a specific date. So if I just want to like go to like move 2 days on and look at it at like 9:20 or something, you can do that. And you can also, of course, like go and just use it as an actual clock. So it's like zoom in now. You can see it here moving really quickly up to kind of like present time. It's using UTC time. And then basically this kind of shows you essentially the sky that I'm at right now. So you can see there that you've got Venus, Mercury, and there's actually the sun there just setting above the horizon line. And then you've kind of got Jupiter, Uranus, Mars, etc. And you've got the moon kind of, almost at like, it's kind of not quite at its highest point of its orbit. But you can kind of verify that using this app. I think it's called Stellarium or something. But you can see there that you've got the sun there just above the horizon, with Mercury and Venus grouped with it. And then basically somewhere over there, there's the moon. So it's not very high at this point of the year. And you've got Jupiter there just below the horizon, which is quite cool. So we can kind of go back to our app and confirm. and there's Jupiter just below the horizon. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then it's also got these different systems for that it can basically use. So the tropical Western kind of astrology system, the sidereal system, which is actually using kind of real kind of it's accounting for a 71.6 year 1 degree axis shift that happens, and that the Western astrology systems don't use. And this is basically using whole sign houses. So it's kind of perfectly aligning the houses to the horizon line, and it's using this kind of Indian astrology system for correction, for house division. Sorry. And then this is kind of like a combination of like Western astrology, but with accurate, like more accurate than Western astrology usually uses kind of positions. So yeah, I'm kind of at the point now. I know these signs. I just haven't actually like written them on. So that would be kind of cool. Probably the next thing to do would be add like the actual names of the constellations that make up these the houses here. And then I'm kind of almost in a position where I can start like moving on to the next stage of the app, which is I've got all of the data and now kind of like doing something interesting with it. But I think actually just using it as a clock is pretty cool. And actually like if you kind of like do watch it closely, you can actually kind of like slowly see things moving. Probably, there, we just actually saw one there, which is kind of cool. But yeah, having lots of fun making it. Okay, cool. Bye.